Diane. How are you?
Hi. Oh, you look so beautiful against
Oh,
that red background and the purple orchid. You just look lovely.
oh, thank you. Your background is very serene, I must say. So it's such an honor to speak with you, and especially about Miriam. She's such a fascinating character, and you give such a layered performance. And I know you put so much care and thought and research into each of your performances, but tell me about some of your favorite moments to play as Miriam.
Well, I love it's a hard moment, but I sort of keep it, I remember it very vividly as though it just happened. And that's the moment where my oldest boy is shot and killed. And Jeremy Renner comes over, and in her blighted way, Miriam is trying to save him from the same fate. But of course, he doesn't listen. So there's a whole mix of things going on, her mourning and her rage and her trying to get her son to her living son to wake up.
Yeah. And she has such an evolving and very fascinating dynamic with both of her sons, Mike and Kyle, played by, as you mentioned, Jeremy and also Taylor Handley, respectively. So tell me about collaborating with each of them and some of your favorite moments of playing off of them.
Well, they're both I'm very lucky to have them as my boys. I'll tell you, they're really something. Each one is a really wonderful actor. And because I think Miriam has quit believing in family because of all the death and this, prison town, the only job in town is to work for the prison. And that both her sons, Taylor Handley being a policeman, and Jeremy doing this sort of being in this gray area of trying to go between the inside and the outside. They give me so much. You receive so much working with each of them. It's endlessly interesting for me to play with either one of them. And I'm always so happy to do a scene. If I see a scene's coming up with Jeremy, I'm thrilled. And the same with Taylor.
And speaking of another Taylor Sheridan, he's such a gifted and intelligent and really a nuanced storyteller. It must be so fascinating to work with him. Tell me about some of your favorite memories of collaborating with him.
Well, he's very big. I mean, he's as big as his stories. He's very intense. He's very emotional. There's nothing small about him. He's, I only did one episode with him. But as a director, he's just like he is as a writer. He's really out there and huge. And there's no mistaking what he's asking you to do, or there's no equivocating. No, this is it, and do it.
So take me back to the very beginning. Tell me about your audition process, or when you first read the script and what drew you to it.
Well, Taylor called and said, would I do this? And at that time, Miriam, I think she just had one or two scenes. And I said, well, not unless you write something.
Right.
He did. He made me a teacher, and I have all those wonderful teaching scenes, which I really love. But what drew me to it really was that just as a individual, I had become involved in the prison system in America. And so I right away, it was like a magnet to read what he's writing about the racism and writing about the injustices, the poverty in his show. So it was wonderful to be a part of that.
Yeah. And you've played some of the most iconic and beloved characters on stage and screen, in Parenthood, In Treatment, The Birdcage, even recently in Life in Pieces, and I Care a Lot. So what have been some of the performances that really stayed with you or that you've loved and cherished over the years?
Well, I love anything to do with Woody Allen, anything at all. That was incredible. I didn't know how lucky I was to work with him all those years and do what I did. I Care a Lot. Rosamund Pike is incredible. I just adore her. I just adore her. I would go to bat for her any day of the week. You know, that was wonderful.
Yeah, I loved your scene work together. It was so delicious.
I just really adore her.
Yes. And what have been some of the fan reactions that have stayed with you or really surprised you about your roles?
Yes, I'm always amazed when people come up to me and say, you know, what you did in this helped me so much, or we still watch this every Christmas. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, it's so rewarding to hear that. And because you have no idea, really, you do it and then it's over, and you know, it's written water, you think, but then you hear people say what a meaningful thing it is, or that it helped them, or that it gave them joy. And wow, that's a gift. That's a gift.
So I believe a second season is coming up. Is that true?
We're shooting it. We're at the end of shooting the second season. Yes.
Wow. So what's coming up that you're excited for people to see?
Well, I think
without spoiling anything.
Yeah, no, I can't spoil anything.
Right.
But, you know, Jeremy is even more brilliant. Taylor Handley is even more brilliant. Miriam has a change, a sea change, really, from the last episode in the first season, the riot at the prison.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. There's a lot.
Oh, I can't wait. And what have you been watching or reading lately that you've really enjoyed?
Oh my gosh, I went on this huge thing. I've never been a TV watcher. And, you know, I watched PBS News and that was about all. But when COVID hit and I was in Toronto, and in lockdown for a couple of weeks, I finally learned how to watch on my computer, my laptop. And I started just devouring. And now I'm doing all the Scandinavian country crime series. So like The Bridge, I've never seen. Oh my gosh, is that brilliant? Do you know that, The Bridge?
Yes, but I watched it, I think, years ago.
I know.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, when I first started, I was watching House of Cards that ended how many decades ago? And I'm thinking, oh my God, House of Cards is so incredible. Have you watched it? People look at me askance, but anyway, what can I do?
It's okay.
I'm very happy in Scandinavia right now.
Excellent programs. I agree. Well, thank you so much for the art that you bring into the world. I really appreciate it, Dianne. Have a lovely day. Thank you for taking the time.
You do the same.
So much.
Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.